All right, so first up on the show is Kerry Copeland, the president of Patriots Roofing. So, Kerry, I'm excited to talk about this. You've mentioned it before, this product called Ice and Water. And roofing is just, I mean, it's not one of those things we think about day to day, right?
Yes.
It's our roof, and we don't really fully appreciate the value of it is until it's compromised in some way. So you had mentioned this product called Ice and Water, and so I started doing a little bit of research on it because I wanted to kind of learn about it. So can you just tell us what is this product, Ice and Water, that you're talking about?
It is a synthetic membrane, and it's a self-adhering membrane as well. So it's one side is adhesive, and then the other side is actually it's got a reflective part to it, which makes working easier. But the purpose of it is to protect all the vulnerable positions on your roof. And the reason that it's referred to as Ice and Water, a lot of what you'll read about it, it's phenomenal for South Texas. It's phenomenal for southern states. But its original design was to try to stop water intrusion from ice damming up north. So if the ventilation's not right, we discussed this previous, it'll melt up high and then it'll come down, freeze again, and
Yes.
that's causes ice dam and causes water not to be able to disperse. So that's what it was designed for. But it's just a phenomenal product that goes directly onto your decking, and it protects all the vulnerable areas of your roof.
So let's talk about that. So
Okay.
The edge of the roof is one of those vulnerable areas, correct? It's like where the water's getting closer. So it goes from the part that's over the living space to the part that's not living space, and then obviously sheds off onto the ground.
Yes, sir.
So that's a vulnerable area. Why is that a vulnerable area?
Well, it's really only a vulnerable area in the event of an ice dam, which we don't have that problem down here. The way that you mitigate those areas otherwise is make sure you have the proper drip edge, have the proper overhang of the shingle over the drip edge. The drip edge in that scenario, that's what protects you from the wind-driven rain, things like that. But if you do have ice and water down there, then if you were to have a leak somewhere in there and it were able to get past the shingles, past the other underlayment, and down to the ice and water barrier, it's not going anywhere else. It's still going to disperse down. It will never touch the structural components of your home.
Right. So so the edge pretty much not a main concern here in South Texas because we
Correct.
don't really have the icing issues. Although every once in a while we do have ice issues, and they kind of come it's a surprise in South Texas,
Sure.
right, when we get those. So, but let's talk about so what about the valleys? Now, a lot of water running down those valleys. Is that a good area for South Texas to use?
Yes, sir. Ice and water barriers should be applied around in any valleys and around every penetration in that roof.
Yeah, so I definitely want to get to the penetrations because that to me is a no-brainer for sure. When it comes to the valleys, what's typically used in valleys to help protect the decking?
Historically, it was metal. Metal was used in the valleys. And yeah, that's what it's gone to. Ice and water has taken the place of where you would use metal flashing in the valleys.
Why?
Really, it never, so take metal. If you're gonna, it has to be nailed. So if you nail through metal, it's automatically a hole. Should moisture ever get to that in any way, shape, or form, you have the possibility of rusting, things like that, and then water penetrating, getting down to your decking. The whole purpose with ice and water is it does the exact same thing. It's an extra barrier, a flashing barrier in that valley. But whenever your shingles, which are going on top of that, we put 6 nails per shingle. It's a lot of nails. It's also going through there, and this ice and water membrane self-adheres.
Okay.
So once that nail goes down in there, that adheres around that nail. And so
It closes up.
Yes, sir.
So it's a moisture barrier around the nail as well.
Yes.
So, but ice and water is not used over the entire roof decking, is it?
It's a smart idea to do that. So, for instance, there's a program called it's the Fortified System. It is a joint system with different insurance companies. And so like in coastal areas, you can get an insurance break. Sometimes there's even grant money that's available for it. So, for instance, if you're in a hurricane-prone area, maybe Rockport or something like that,
Sure.
And so you have ice and water over your entire roof system, and then you have your synthetic underlayment, and then you could lose every shingle on that roof.
Yeah.
And your water intrusion is going to be minimal. So insurance companies like it because that's an extra layer of protection. So even if a strong wind does come through, a Cat 4, Cat 5, it'll get rid of those could blow those shingles off potentially, but then you still have that ice and water isn't going anywhere. It is adhered to that roof, to that decking. And it's fantastic here in South Texas where you have metal roofs because it's rated up to like 250 degrees.
Right, and they have different products, right? I mean, they have different qualities or grades of this ice and water barrier depending on how premium you want to go or how, entry level you want to go.
Yes, sir.
So, but what about cost? Why not how much more would it cost to get, per square foot maybe? How would you measure that?
Sure, it's roughly,
doing some quick math.
With labor, yes, sir, labor and material, it's roughly $100 a square more. So $10 more a square foot.
Okay, a square foot. $10 more a square foot.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, and on a 1-story, 2,000 square foot house, are you talking 2,000? I guess you'd probably 2,400 square feet of roofing maybe, or because you got a little extra hanging off?
They come in, so the ice and water comes in a roll, and it covers 2 squares. That's what it covers. So it covers 200 square feet is what a roll of ice and water.
Right. I'm just trying to do with the math. I guess multiply $10 times 2,400 if that's your square footage of your roof, right?
Yes, sir.
It's usually a little bit different.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So you guys use this over at Patriots, right?
Oh, that's all we use. Yes, sir. We don't use felt paper. We don't use we don't use any metal. Yes, sir. Oh, it's common. A lot of our we also have an internal program that we branded it the Patriots Defender, and that is one of the main things for Patriots Defender. It's an upgraded roof system, and that's one of the main things we do is we put ice and water over the entire surface.
It seems like a no-brainer because the asphalt paper. I've seen people, you just tear it. Asphalt paper, there's not much to it. It serves a purpose. It helps with water shedding and all of that. I get that. But it's nothing compared to ice and water.
Sure, and where you see it mostly, if we're doing a re-roof and an old roof's coming off and it had felt paper on there, it comes off in pieces, chunks.
Yes.
If it has synthetic underlayment under it that came in it's a rolled product.
Yeah.
That's how it comes off. It just take the whole thing off. There's no bits, pieces, anything. So that's the greatest example I can use is because whenever it does come off, the other has deteriorated, and it comes off in very small pieces.
Yeah. That seems like a no-brainer to me. I'm glad you guys are using that. So, but let's talk about penetrations now. So where your exhaust vents come up through your chimney, all that kind of stuff, right? These are areas like roof vents.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you guys are using ice and water around that as well. Of course, if you're doing the whole roof, then obviously it would be
Yes, but we even go a little bit further with that, which I would always recommend for anyone if they're having something done, whoever their contractor is, have them do this. So we'll take the ice and water and we will, cut out whatever the size of that pipe is or whatever is coming through. Then we will adhere the ice and water directly to the wood decking. Then you come with your synthetic underlayment, your felt paper, but this one's synthetic, it's not felt paper. And then we will do the same exact thing again. So what we've done is we've tried to mitigate that twice.
Right.
To make sure that, we just everything we can, make sure there's not a future leak. Hurts our bottom line and makes customers extremely angry. So.
Heck yeah. Seriously, roof is one of those things you don't appreciate until something happens, and now you're like, now it's drywall and it's painting and it's floor and it's mold and it's all this other stuff that's going on.
Yes, sir. A lot of people will view a roof as just a commodity like anything else. It's a poor decision. It really does. It protects all the rest of your investment, and that you should put a lot of time and effort into exactly what you want, protecting the rest of your property.
So I know we're getting close to wrapping up segment, but I had a quick question about the asphalt that's on the shingles. What is the main purpose of asphalt on the shingles? Is it so roofers can walk around safely, or does it? What's the purpose?
It's protection. That's a durable product. So like the reason shingles are manufactured from it. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it's durable, it lasts. And now you have to have the right mixture to get that, but it protects the house.
It protects the product that keeps the water from entering the house, right? Is it?
Yes,
so
sir.
it's a protection of the waterproofing.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just asphalt's a durable product.
Yeah, for like sun and
Cold, anything. Yes, sir.
Anything.
It's like it's why they use it in the the roads that we drive on.
yeah, right.
Yes, sir.
All right, Kerry. Well, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
My phone number is 210-244-3165, and our website is patriotsroofing.net.
Also, be sure to follow Patriots Roofing on Facebook, where you can catch valuable roofing tips and insight, and catch short clips from the show as well. Those do very, very well. It's easy to get 1,000 views on your video clips.
Yes, sir.
They're up on social media, so people are getting a lot of value from that. So I appreciate that.